Hey, Spencer Snaggle here with another figure review. And I'd like to do a big apology for the delay. I know I was hoping to get these up over a few days after I received them, but as I did send those videos, I was quite ill, and I'd recently been off sick from work for the last 2 weeks before I got that box opening. And the following day after I did the Arrow, I went back to work, but I was on a completely different shift. So my shift pattern has completely changed, and it's just thrown off my whole sleeping pattern. So I haven't actually had a chance to record because I've just basically been working and sleeping. But I've got the weekend off, so I'm going to try and get at least 2 of these videos done this weekend. And unfortunately also, I've had a bit of bad news. My cat passed away, which has been quite sad and traumatic and hit me a lot more than I realised. Those cats are the first animals I ever got myself as an adult, and I've had them for like 8 years. And it's just been quite an emotional roller coaster just getting through it. It's been quite tough. I know a lot of you just going out there going, oh, but it's just a cat. If you don't have an animal and not a pet lover, you wouldn't get it. But yeah, it's been a lot to go through. But he's in a better place, and there's been a lot of problems in regard around that. But it's all been done with, and I'm now in a better place myself. I do feel a lot better now that he's been laid to rest. So, sorry for the bit of a downer there, but you know, I just wanted to keep you guys apprised as to what's happening in my life and why I am taking so long to get these videos out. Just a heads up, you may get a bit of like knocky knock on the camera because my other cat is actually under my tripod right now and is trying to get my attention for fuss, and will probably rub up against the tripod and make it move. So I do apologise for that. You could probably hear him purring, because I sure in heck can. He's a very loud purrer. You know, I can't remember if I've ever put him actually in front of the camera, so let's actually show you guys, if I can, my cat. Okay everyone, this here is Breezer. This is my cat dog. He is actually one of the best cats in the world. He's such a lovely, friendly cat, and he's also a very big cat. And I realised after I put him on my desk that I've actually just washed and cleaned and ironed these, so this was not necessarily a smart idea. But he is a really nice cat, very lovely, and as you can see, he is a very big cat. So say hello to Breezer, and we'll get back on with the review. And we are back. So, what do we think of the Canary in Arrow? Honestly, I really like this. And I'm not going to give any spoilers away, but there is a new Canary, that's all I'm saying. But I definitely prefer this one. I prefer the costume and the attitude, and I really like this Canary over the new one. That's all I'm going to say spoiler-wise. But yeah, I did enjoy the character in the show, and I do really like the costume, and I like pretty much everything about it. Even, there he goes. Breezer! Go away. Come on, go away. Go away. Yeah, I really enjoyed the costume. He will not go away. He can't just come straight back. I really enjoyed the costume, really enjoyed the character, and it was a very awesome addition to the show. Now, what do I think of this figure? Honestly, a bit hit and miss in some aspects. As a whole, I do really like her, and I do think she is a fairly decent representation of the figure and the character. Do have a few nitpicks with her. Nothing really major, though. So let's take a look at the box and then a close-up look at this figure and her accessories. So having a quick look at the packaging, it's exactly the same as the other one. It says here on the front, complete white with an open window on the front and the side. And then we have the Arrow logo there. It says number 2 Canary here and some warning labels there. DC Collectables. And then from the side, you could just have a picture of the actual, or rather a view of the actual figure. On the top, we just have Arrow. On the bottom, some more information about the company. On this side, a picture of the actual actress in the costume, and it says here Arrow, Canary, number 2, DC Collectables. And then a picture on the back, you can see Arrow and the first 4 figures in this series. DC Comics, and then CW, obviously the company that are producing the show. As I said in my previous videos, I'm not going to be getting this one here, the Oliver Queen with the shirtless figure, because I already have 2 Arrow figures and I just don't feel I need a third Oliver Queen. But I do have Deathstroke to review, and I also have the two which are not on this box. Okay, so the first accessory that she comes with is her staff, and this is very simple of solid silver, and it does have some notches in it because it is an extendable staff that does clip together. It's actually really well done, and it does look like, I can't think what they're called, those extendable clubs that like police officers use. Two of them attached together, so that's pretty cool. She does hold it pretty well in her left hand. You see she's got a small tight one and then an open gripped one. So you can just slide it in there and you can go all the way up to basically this notch. You can force past that, but it is a bit tricky. And then you can bring it over and you can get to hold it like that. But it's just loose in there. She can't actually hold it in her right hand. She also comes with her sonic device. Now this thing is absolutely tiny. I mean, look at that compared to my nail. It's like a sixth of the size of my thumbnail there. This thing is so tiny. It's smaller than a pinhead, or rather it's smaller than a push tack head. So you need to be extra careful not to lose this. All in all, it's pretty nice. It's got some slight detail on the back, like a few little bumps there, and there's like a silver ring going around, and then on the front it kind of just looks like a wheel if you ask me, but there is some design underneath that silver. I don't know how well that's coming out through the camera. Now she does hold this pretty well in her right hand. It kind of just, she can just hold it between the two fingers like that. You can't get it in her left hand, and it's a shame that I'd love it if they made a little hole in one of these pockets so you could actually store it there. That would be awesome. But no. Slight minor spoiler. This was recently in The Flash. And they are doing something with it which I'm very excited to see. I'm not going to say any more than that. But it is very, very interesting. And I'm looking forward to see how that works out. So having a close-up look at the actual figure, you can see that there is some really nice texture and detail going in the face and the hair. The flesh tone does match up pretty well with the chest. I'm not so sure it matches up with the wrist though. I'll try and show that best I can. But the hair itself is actually really nice and has some nice design and some nice highlights going throughout it. The mask also has some great design and texture, and those eyes coming through really well, and I think they're quite straight. It looks like there might be a slight blemish here over on the right eye, but generally they look pretty good. Continuing down with the costume, and you can see here that she's wearing like a corset almost, which has some nice grey and black lines in it, and you can see the leather jacket. One thing I will add about the leather jacket, it is a soft rubber, but it is attached. Something I wanted to add on my one, now the hair wasn't actually attached to the torso, but if you look under here, there is a line where it looks like there might have been some paint bleed or paint leak. It's just on that one side, looks like maybe on the back of the collar. But that's a bit annoying. I might be able to scratch that off. I haven't really tried, to be honest. Okay, so continuing back down on the jacket and the main detail of the character's torso. One thing I'd just like to point out, she does have some nice texturing lines going along the actual arms of it, and there's some like not grid, but like lines here on the elbows. Little buckle here, and there's some different paint variants actually in the actual jacket. You can see quite clearly there's a white line here going down the bicep, which I think is a pretty cool design. If I just scroll around to the side a bit, you can see those details in the corset and on the jacket a little bit more. I like how this isn't just a solid black. I like how it's grey, and it does kind of break the costume up a bit. Continuing down, and you can see there that we have the gloves here. Now the rotation is actually on the hands. These are part of the forearm and they don't move. But they are really well done. I have a slight paint bleed of the flesh tone going on top, so I don't know. I'm assuming that they're painted, just black plastic painted flesh. But the belt is really nice and the trousers really nice. And as you can see, there is kind of like this stitch going across the thighs, which is very cool. I've noticed they do this quite a lot because I think Arsenal has a very similar thing as well. Sorry, I just seem to be having a little bit of trouble with the focus. And then continuing down, you can see she has those same kind of lines on her knees, and then the top of the boots. Now the boots is actually one of the problems I have. You can see this foot's up because it's actually meant to be down, but I'm having a bit of trouble getting her to stand. Now the problem I have is that the knee is at this kind of angle, but then the boot angle is ever so slightly to the right, outwards on both legs, so it kind of does mess up with the articulation. I really think this figure would have definitely benefited from a boot rotation. May potentially apply one in future, but I'm really not too sure, to be honest. But the boots are really nice, and they have some nice straps going around it. It looks like they do have some padding actually on the actual shins. If I just turn around to the side view, you can see what I'm referring to with that extra padding. And then you have the buckles there. Having a look here at the back of the boots, you can see that again those straps going around, and you can see where they actually do finish. There's not much texture actually on the back of the trousers. You can just see kind of like the slight colour difference on the side of the trousers, whereas the back seems to be a bit more of a blue grey and the front has a bit more of a darker grey, maybe black. Continuing up, you can see the back of the corset and, like I said, the jacket. Now the jacket is definitely a softer piece and a separate piece, and you can see there is some flesh actually going underneath. I'm not sure if this continues all the way up, but the jacket is glued actually directly on the back. If I move her hair out of the way, you can see there is some nice paint texture and details on the actual jacket. And then continuing up all the way to the hair, you can see again that really nice paint difference in here to give a little bit of shading. It does have a really nice sculpt, and it is actually quite a soft plastic that it doesn't really hinder any form of articulation. Okay, size comparison. To the top of her head, she stands just about 6.5 inches tall, maybe just a fraction above that. Standing next to Arrow, the Flash, the Dark Archer and Deathstroke. Okay, so let's take a look at her articulation. Now the head is on a ball peg by the looks of it. You can go down that much and up. You could probably go more, but the hair just is stopping it going up. You can pivot from side to side, but not a great deal. And you can rotate it around. You can probably go, there you go, let's just find out. Yeah, you can go around 360 degrees. Like I said, the jacket is a soft rubber and doesn't hinder at all. Shoulders are on hinges and they can go around 360 degrees and they can go out that much. There's no bicep rotation whatsoever. We then have an elbow rotation of 360 degrees and a bend of not quite 90, but the more you go around, the less you get. We have a wrist rotation of 360 degrees and then a hinge from there to there, and it's the same on the other side. We have a diaphragm joint which has a 360 rotation. It seems to be slightly off center, so probably about at this angle, because you see when I rotate it, that the torso does seem to lean back. Go forward that much on it and back that much. A little bit of side to side, but not a lot. No waist articulation whatsoever. She has T-cut hips and has a Spartan of that. Now this is one of my complaints actually, because the hips seem to be a bit limited and I find it a bit unfortunate. Although I think they may have got a bit clearer as I've been posing around, because she has a split of that. Double bend in the knee of that, which actually looks pretty decent, to be honest. Like I said, no boot rotation, as it would be very, very helpful, but she has an ankle point from there to there, and then a pivot from there to there. Now, the pivots, like I said, they're a bit off center, so it does make putting her feet flat down a bit difficult sometimes, so bear that in mind. Okay, final thoughts. Would I recommend this figure? To be honest, yes. The only real major gripe I have with this figure is the ankle articulation angle. Aside from that, I do think she is a really good figure, has a lot of great stuff, great paint apps, great detail, really decent articulation, great sculpt, and nice accessories. So yes, I would recommend this figure to anyone's Arrow collection, as it is an ideal and great addition to that. Anyway guys, that is my review. If you are interested in purchasing any of these Arrow figures, and any other DC Collectables, Marvel figures and comics, please check out a Parallel Universe, because that's where I got all these latest DC collectibles from. Spoke to the guy that owns that. He's a great guy. He's got a lot of the Arkham figures coming in. I'm definitely getting some more from him. And he's also just put on his post the new DC Collectables Archives, that video I made a while back. So they should be out shortly. So check out his website. And check out Mephitsu Archives for the latest into action figure news, and also for handwritten reviews and links of my videos. Anyway guys, thanks for watching. I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you have, please drop me a like down below. Please any comments you'd like to add about this figure, or these figures, or my channel, or anything you'd like to know whatsoever. I'm more than happy to answer any of your questions. Please subscribe, and as usual guys, thanks for watching. Keep collecting. I'm going to catch you in my next one. Bye bye.